People ask me all the time, Chad, why do you homeschool your kids? But I can show you better than I can tell you.
What's possible is using that power to educate and prepare our students to be the leaders of a just society with an understanding that racial and social justice is education justice. That if this society is to survive, if this grand experiment in democracy is to succeed, we must continuously do the work to challenge ourselves and others, to dismantle the racist, interconnected systems and the economic injustices that have perpetuated systemic inequities.
The mindset that you just experienced in that clip is held by an individual who is influential when it comes to educators in this country. And as the parents of students who are going to these schools, you should think seriously as to whether you want your kids to be exposed to that kind of mindset. Understand, people think it's normal for a teenager to be at odds with their parents. They think, oh, that's just teenagers being teenagers. No, it's not normal. It is abnormal for that to be the case. Your schools exist, many of them, to separate your child from your values and to pour in them instead leftist values, leftist ideology. And they do that by trying to find the weakest vessels among us and trying to lift those people up and say, look, you should be more concerned about these weak vessels than you are for yourself, than you are for preserving your nation, than you are for preserving your community and the good values of your community. Degeneracy is being celebrated in our country, and normality is being tabooed in our country, and it's a result of people like this woman. Stand in the gap. Be the voice for reason in your schools, in your communities. You cannot let this stuff continue to go on because it's poisoning our nation. Take your kids out of public schools if it's just too far down the tubes. Put them in, a classical school or homeschool them even. But if nothing else, make sure that you're showing up to those school board meetings. Make sure that you know who your school board members are. Make sure you know who your kids' teachers are, because this is getting out of control.
So I was talking to a client yesterday who had been interested in homeschooling, had always asked me a lot of questions about homeschooling, but always kind of been like, I don't think I can do it. And we got to talking and somehow came on the topic of how much time it would take for her to homeschool. I casually mentioned that her second grader, that she would probably be done with school in about an hour to 2 hours at second grade. And she was shook. I forget a lot of times that I've been doing this a little while, so all of this stuff seems like common knowledge to me. It's not common knowledge. A lot of people think, even in the younger grades, that you need 6 to 8 hours of school time to fully teach them every single day. And that is false. The time it takes to school, especially a little one, is not going to be anywhere near that. So this time schedule is going to be a lot closer to what is actually accurate about how much time you're actually going to take on school a day. So just food for thought.
As America's top athletes compete on the world stage at the Olympics, some college students are flat out refusing to root for Team USA. Watch.
I think it's embarrassing that, our own athletes who are on Team USA aren't even proud to be an American, it seems like.
I don't think so, because I don't like being an American either, even though I'm born here.
Like that. I like it when you feel the sound. I like it when you don't talk.
South Carolina fifth graders told to sing while picking cotton in a field.
I'm livid right now.
In the middle of Black History Month.
I'm African American and my ancestors pick cotton. Why would I want my son to pick cotton and think it's fun?
This cell phone video shot by a teacher was sent to parents and brought this mom to tears.
I think it's making a mockery.
A mockery of what?
A mockery of slavery, a mockery of what our people went through.
Jessica Blanchard's 10-year-old son Jamari says he didn't understand what he was singing. Nor did teachers explain how cotton fields were harvested by African American slaves.
Did they talk about how slaves used to pick cotton? No.
A permission slip sent to parents does mention picking cotton as part of a history lesson, not on slavery, but the Great Depression. For 15 years, Rock Hill fifth graders have been coming to the Carroll School, which was built in 1929 by and for African Americans. It now serves as a teaching center for African American history.
Has started implementing a new framework for sex education in public schools for grades K through 12. Here's what your kid is going to be taught. And go ahead and look this up for yourself, too, and share this video. Parents need to know, because you, as a parent, you cannot opt your child out of this. In kindergarten, teachers are encouraged to talk to your 5-year-old about gender identity and transgenderism to make sure your kindergartner knows that she can be a boy if she wants to be a boy. Under these new guidelines mandated by the state, in middle school and California public schools, teachers will be talking to your 11-year-old child about masturbation and telling your preteen that masturbation is perfectly healthy, perfectly normal. In junior high and high school, teachers are encouraged to teach your teenager from a book called SEX, the All You Need to Know Sexuality Guide to Get You Through Your Teens and 20s, that gives descriptions about anal sex and bondage.